Hello everybody and welcome to this video where today we're going to talk about the biggest flaw that you have in your goals, in your plan, in your how you are going to take the thing you create and do something with. And it's not at all what you think. We'll just start with what it is and then I'll explain. The biggest problem you have with your goals is that you have one goal. And that one goal is the goal you're working on right now, your current goal. You have made your current goal your only goal. Okay? You get very tunnel vision on this goal. And what's going to happen is when you finish this goal, when you achieve this goal, you're not going to know what else to do. There's not going to be anything else to do. And you're going to either panic or you're going to spiral or you're going to do nothing. Okay? And that will be the end of your career. So examples, and I've shared this one before. A buddy of mine just made his first feature film. Okay? And I'm going to explain I'm going to get hard details here because I don't think he watches my channel. So hopefully, and if he does, I hope he's not mad about this. He finally made his first feature film in his 50s. Okay. He came to LA and worked. His first set he ever worked on was one of my sets. And he graduated head of his class from NYU Film School, the whole fucking thing. Okay. He was a total prodigy, but never got the opportunity to make the movie that he wanted to make because he had this idealized version of what that movie was going to be. He lost a lot of opportunities and was never really given the opportunities because he made it so clear exactly what he wanted. So this one goal interfered with him making having these other opportunities for other goals. Okay. Then when he finally got to the point where he could almost have that goal, he went for it. Okay. And put himself in a situation that was kind of awful for him to be able to make this movie. Okay. He makes the movie. Because of things that were kind of beyond his control, meaning budget, producers, the thing that every director complains about. The movie wasn't what he wanted it to be. Okay. And he got really disheartened about that. It wasn't the vision he had. It wasn't what he wanted. And this really just devastated him because he had been planning this movie his whole life. Okay. And it still wasn't what he wanted it to be. This one goal he had, it ended up not being what he wanted. And it broke his heart. Okay. So the movie was, it's not the worst thing in the world. It's not great. It's just a movie. It's entertaining. Okay. But it's a very niche type of movie. But it wasn't that great. Now, the movie was entered into a bunch of festivals, but because of how niche the movie is, there weren't many movies like it. So because of that, when it was in that exact niche in those film festivals, they won the prize for that category. But they were the only movie in the category. So that's why they won. You know what I'm saying? So before the movie comes out, I told him, I'm like, look, you have a bunch of laurels. You have a bunch of awards for this movie that you and I both know, isn't representative of what your best work could be. So what you have to do is you have to start getting meetings with studios right now and producers and say, look, I'm this award-winning filmmaker. Here are some ideas I have, and start pitching ideas. Okay. But you have to do it before the movie comes out. Because once the movie comes out, they're going to be able to go online and see that you made kind of a bunk movie. He's like, yeah, I don't know if I could do that. I'm like, why? And he's like, because I don't know what I would pitch right now. And I'm like, you've been wanting to do this your entire life. There has to be like 30 or 50 ideas in your head that you want to pitch. And he didn't have any ideas. Like, he had ideas, but not anything he could like formulate or pitch. It was just like, oh, it'd be cool to do like a horror movie. Okay, well, you need more than that, you know? So he didn't have anything. And so the movie got picked up, the movie came out. He did not get any meetings, he did not do anything. So now he isn't doing anything. And I talked to him this week and I'm like, hey, do you got any projects in the works or anything? And he's like, no, because there's no money and no desire. And I'm like, well, the money could be fixed, but the desire, you need to work on that. And he's like, yeah, and I just don't have it right now. So his whole life, he was building up this opportunity to do this thing. He did the thing. It wasn't what he thought it would be. And it broke his heart. And he has nothing else to fall back on because he never had any other fucking things. Now, me, when I started making movies, I had made 9 movies before the first movie came out. Because once I realized how easy it was to make a movie, and I know it's not easy to make a movie, but for me, it seemed really easy. I was just like, oh, I should just do this. And so I went and hustled, and I like went and got investors to put money into shit, and I was like making movies, you know? And that's where that awful quote of mine comes from that is taken completely out of context, but it was like, I was quoted in saying, I don't care if anyone watches my movies as long as they know that I'm making them. Okay. And the context for that was that we were on set of my 9th film and none of my movies had come out yet. And I was saying, well, as long as people know I'm making movies, I'm still going to get work. Like, I don't care if they watched them yet because they're not out yet. That's what that quote meant, but you know what I'm saying. But people over the years have taken that quote into a completely, like, not what I meant thing, but whatever. So that's one example. Another example is there was this guy who I was in a band with, or many bands with, like growing up in early adulthood. And we did tons of stuff and we put tons of albums out and all this other stuff. And he wanted to do his own thing. So he left to do his own thing. He makes this album that takes him like, I don't know, like a year or 2 to make. He makes the album. Once that album was done, he never did another thing. That was like 15 years ago. Because he didn't have a goal to what he was going to do after he made that album. Like, for years, the only thing in his head was, I got to just make this album. I got to just make this album. And then he did. And then there was nothing else. And what a lot of people don't realize is with creating stuff, a lot of the high comes from the chase, comes from doing the creating. What happens after that, that's not the thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not the high. The high is making the stuff. So once you make the stuff, but you think the high is going to be the thing coming out, that's not the high. Like, you're not going to give too creative about that at all. Okay? And this is why, for me, it's hard to celebrate my victories because I have so many things that I always want to do. As soon as one thing's done, I'm off to the next thing. A lot of times I'm off to the next thing before that one thing's even out. That's why I have so many books in production right now that are supposed to be coming out, that are in different stages of completeness. Because, like, the making is the high. The putting the work out isn't the thing that, like, drives me to keep creating. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm trying to tell you in this grand silly thing, is that if you think about what your goals are as an artist, as a creator, as a writer, as a poet, as a whatever, think of what those goals are. I said goals, plural. If when I said that you came up with one thing, you're going to have a problem. Okay? Whenever you go to pitch something, like let's say you want to get into film or movies or whatever, or even like books and you want to talk to agents, when you go to pitch something, you have to have like 7 or 8 different ideas, because guaranteed you're going to pitch the first thing that you think's amazing. They're going to hate it. And they'll say, what else you got? And then you're going to have to pitch something else. And then they're going to say, what else you got? Okay. So you have to get into the habit of having a ton of things to go to. Like you should have right now, like at least 5 things, 5 projects that you plan to work on next year. Okay. What are those 5 projects? And honestly, if one of them is like, write this book and then self-publish the book, do a marketing campaign for that book, those are good projects to do. Okay. But again, once those are done and once that book's out, you're going to have to come up with something else that's not that book. Because if that book does poorly, you're going to get butthurt and you're not going to do anything else. And you're just going to go back and go, well, I guess I'm just going to be a desk jockey the rest of my life. I guess I'll just be a soccer mom, which I'm not trying to downplay, but for those of us who are creative, we need to create or else we feel stifled and strangled. You know what I'm saying? So you have to have more than one goal. If you only have one goal, you are fucked. And honestly, I'm not trying to be a dick, but for those of you who keep leaving me comments saying like everything I say becomes worthless as soon as I start effing, grow the fuck up. If your sensibilities are so fucking precious that the second someone speaks truth to you but then says fuck, you're like, oh, I don't have to listen to that anymore. Dude, choke on a bag of dicks. Like, you're done. That is seriously the stupidest shit in the world. I cannot believe that there are still people. It's 2024. You are a grown man. This is the funny thing. Women never say this shit to me. It's only men. Okay? You're a grown man. You watch worse things on HBO or whatever HBO is now. I don't know. Like, you've heard bad words before. Okay? Just because you don't like me speaking truth to you and calling you out, don't try to like not have to do it now because I said the F word. Don't be a dick. Seriously. Just do the fucking thing. Good God. Books. Keep buying my books. This book here, Confessions of a Man Whose Everything Exploded, is available on Amazon right now. I have 1 copy of Coldest Beer in the Desert left. Poems about the liquor store out in the desert. There's only 19 of these made, signed and numbered. There's only 1 of these left. If you want this, you have to let me know. IHateMattWall@gmail.com. I will send you an invoice. I have 2 copies left of Off the Grid, each one with a one-of-a-kind individual cover, and there were 26 of these made. Okay? There's only 2 of these left. If you want one of these, you have to send me an email to IHateMattWall@gmail.com. Okay? Once these are gone, these are gone. Okay? And these are only going to be available through the month of December. And once December's over, they're out. Preview of a Dangerous Mind, short stories, some of my best stuff ever. I have, I don't remember how many, 10 of these left. There's 31 of these, again, signed and numbered. These are collector's items, guys. Get them while you can. Once they're gone, they are gone. These will not be remade, especially like this. So if you want these, you have to send me an email, IHateMattWall@gmail.com. I will send you an invoice. Okay? If you buy multiple, I will give you discounts. Plus, you could also still get The End of Everything and Winner Your Mom's Sodomy Prize for Poetry. I still have these. These are limited runs too. and signed and numbered, but I have more of these than the chapbooks. The chapbooks are like almost gone. Get these while you can. Join the crew down below. We're going to be doing our writing Zoom tonight at 6 Pacific. So if you want in on that, join the Anarchy crew, okay? And I will send you an email. Let me know through email, though, that you signed up, because I'm going to send emails out around 10 till 6 that have the Zoom links. And last week we had a freaking just banging time. Like I wrote some amazing stuff. Everyone did really, really well. It was great. So make sure you sign up today so you could get in on that. And honestly, sign up today and just try it. And if you don't like it, quit. Sorted. You tried it. Because a lot of you always go, you know what? I would really like to do that. Just not right now, I don't think. I don't think I could do it right now. Maybe someday I'll do that. Just shut the fuck up and do it now and see if you like it. And if you don't, then you already did it. Okay? And that's one goal off the list, and you can move on to other shit. All right? So type hard, everybody. Keep buying my books, and I will talk to you all later.